Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest presentation in Applied Marketing Sciences 2019 Coffee Break webinar series. Today's presentation is entitled The Power of Patient Journey Maps for Medical Innovation and Marketing. My name is Megan Foley. I'm a manager at Applied Marketing Science, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Our presenter today is John Mitchell, the President and Managing Principal of Applied Marketing Science and leader of the firm's medical device practice area. His career spans nearly 20 years of market research, market strategy, innovation, and management consulting. He specializes in medical and diagnostic devices and has helped numerous global med tech companies hear the voice of the customer. We call our series Coffee Break webinars because the purpose of each webinar is to provide a short presentation highlighting key topics related to innovation and insights. These presentations are not comprehensive, but instead touch upon key points we believe are important to successful innovation. We will take questions at the end, and I'd encourage you to submit them by typing in the chat window on the right side of your screen. And with that, I'll turn it over to John.
Thanks, Meg. Today's webinar is the second time we've presented on the topic of journey mapping in the healthcare field. This topic continues to gain traction among practitioners across the spectrum of healthcare, including medical device companies, where I devote most of my practice, as well as pharmaceutical companies, health insurers, and service providers like hospitals, ambulatory surgical centers, and large physician groups. Several reasons explain this increasing popularity, but the common thread is that patients lie at the core of all healthcare. Understanding patients can help improve care, leading to better health outcomes. It can also create opportunities for those of us who deliver products and experiences to patients to innovate, differentiate, and ultimately to profit. Let me offer a preview of what you'll get out of this webinar. I'll begin with general principles about journey mapping, including what makes a good map and how companies use them. I'll describe what I think are the most critical components of a patient journey map and touch on how journey mapping integrates with voice of the customer market research, which is the study of customer needs for new product development and service design. Then I'll take you through a case example based on work we recently completed in the area of knee arthroplasty, a common surgical procedure. I'll describe our research approach and how we built patient journey maps for the different patient personas we uncovered during the study. My hope is that you can use this case example to think about your own approach to patient journey mapping and maybe provide you with a different perspective. Patient journey mapping is a subset of customer journey mapping, which is increasing in popularity everywhere. Why could this be? I think it's because journey maps are versatile tools. Here are 3 examples of how a healthcare-related company might use journey maps to serve patients better. First, and fundamentally, journey maps can help you make a better product or service by mapping out the different ways your patients use current solutions and the pain points they encounter. A couple years ago, I saw a conference presentation by Mayfair Diagnostics, a Canadian company, about how it used the patient journey to redesign its imaging centers, both the physical layout and the care path. Second, you can use a journey map to make it easier for patients to consider seeking treatment, ask about a certain procedure, talk to their doctors about it, and ultimately to choose it over others. The case example I will share later about the journey toward knee replacement is a good example of this application. Third, you can use a journey map to re-engineer how you support your products and services when something goes wrong to reinforce your brand. While I won't point to a specific example, a potential application would be to look at how patients experience the recall of a medical device, which can be frightening and frustrating for patients and perilous for a brand if mishandled. Journey maps are valuable, but there seems to be little consensus on what constitutes a good one. If you don't believe me, after this webinar, do a Google image search on customer journey map or patient journey map. You'll find a colorful spectrum of tables, charts, diagrams, and cartoons, leaving you to wonder which is proper and correct. Everyone, it seems, has their own take on what makes a good map. Some practitioners have attempted to standardize the definition. The Customer Experience Professionals Association, to which I belong, defines a journey map as, quote, an illustration or graph depicting all the customer's touchpoints that completely and accurately represent their experience with the company, which is used to identify key moments of truth that affect customer perceptions and loyalty. Most practitioners agree with this definition and have extended it to articulate 3 core elements: stages, steps or tasks, and touchpoints. Steps or tasks are the primary unit of analysis because any journey, whether it's a care path or simply a trip to the grocery store, can always be described as a series of steps. They are the actions patients are taking. Stages are just aggregations of tasks into groupings that make logical sense. Touchpoints are things that the traveler encounters along the way, either offline or online. In a patient journey, touchpoints might include clinicians, insurance representatives, family members, or anonymous individuals like online chat participants. Some journey maps go further, adding things like emotions felt at each stage or quantitative measures of satisfaction during the different steps, drawn from survey data. But good maps are still structured around these three components.